So is that what people are signing up for when they go through your 12-week program? Is it like a lot of the breathing and mindfulness, or kind of walk us through like what that looks like?
Yes. So in the classes that I offer now, we have a set curriculum that is 12 weeks. And we go through building specific skills that would allow you to first have awareness of what are the patterns that are running your life and they're creating the results that you're having in your life, and the skills to then center so that we can deactivate those, and then skills to reinforce new patterns.
Welcome back to another episode of Blissful Beings. Today, I have a very special guest with me, Edna. Edna and I actually met through our yoga community and going to the same yoga studio. But I recently just saw that you launched a podcast. You're really stepping up and following passions of yours that probably have helped you. And now you're trying to give back to others with really like rewiring their nervous system. But do you want to maybe just like introduce yourself to the audience of who you are?
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you so much for having me. It's such a pleasure to get to connect with you and with your audience. My name is Ena. I am a certified inner matrix trainer, and my job is to help high achievers rewire their nervous system, their emotional patterns, and their thought constructs so that they can access joy and fulfillment in their lives.
Wow.
And so this is like a passion of mine, because I was this person, right, that kind of did it all right, check all these boxes that society tells us to do. And at the end, I still felt a little bit just empty and unfulfilled. And I started to realize like how that's like the norm and not the exception now. And so, like that's kind of how it always started. And from there it went.
But what was that certificate called that you have?
And inner matrix systems.
Wow. Can you maybe dig a little deeper and like for the audience because that's the first time I heard of it as well. Can you kind of explain what that training is?
Absolutely. So Inner Matrix is an organization that's been around for over 20 years and it's helped about 84,000 people around the whole world.
Wow.
It was created by Joey Klein, who is an expert in neurobiology, mindfulness, and psychology. And he created this curriculum that addresses not only like the mindset, but also the emotions and the nervous system. So it combines a lot of like the best of the East and the best of the West to create this training system that creates really effective results.
Wow, very cool. So can you kind of take us back through like your life experience of like what led you down this path?
Yeah. So back in, about 2021, I was kind of hitting this point in my life where I had a 9 to 5. I was in oil and gas. I was running a side business in digital marketing. And so my days were chaotic. I woke up at like 5 a.m. and do my workouts and try to do it all. And, had my first meetings at 7, my last meetings at 9. And it was just like this go, go, go. And to be honest, I was just kind of like, like I work hard. Yeah. This is what life is all about. And I didn't realize how much I was just draining myself for just this concept of, if I get the next thing, then I'll be happy, right? Like I was just chasing this next thing. And I was going through these cycles of just burnout and depression. So it would be like, I'm going, feeling like, yes, let's go. And then just crashing and burning. And it would just be a depression and this heaviness to the point that I couldn't get out of bed. And a friend of mine was doing Inner Matrix, one of the classes that is called Power of Vision. And she invited me and she said, do this training. You really need to align with what is important to you rather than, follow somebody else's idea of success. And I went and I did the training, really engaged with her through the class, and it started to realize that I had all of these subconscious beliefs, right? Like as a Latin race woman, an immigrant in the US, like this, I've been sold the story that if you want anything, you just work hard.
Mm-hmm.
If you have this thing, right, like the success, the career, the money, then you're going to be happy. But you have to work hard to get there. And so, once I realized that all of those subconscious beliefs were keeping me in this eternal chase, because it didn't matter how much I achieved.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, there was always something more. I really found a lot of freedom, right? Like I started to say, okay, what is important for me? How do I want to feel?
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, oh, I want joy. I want fulfillment. I want connection in my life. I want vibrancy and health. And all of these things. And okay, so how do I align myself to actually create that life? And so through the training, I started to learn all of the breathing techniques, learn all of the mindset techniques, and started to really get to rewire my nervous system so that those beliefs could dissolve and something else could emerge.
Wow. So is that what people are signing up for when they go through your 12-week program? Is it like a lot of the breathing and mindfulness, or kind of walk us through like what that looks like?
Yes. So in the classes that I offer now, we have a set curriculum that is 12 weeks.
Nice.
And we go through building specific skills that would allow you to first have awareness of what are the patterns that are running your life and they're creating the results that you're having in your life. And the skills to then center so that we can deactivate those, and then skills to reinforce new patterns, right? Because I think that, in the personal development world right now, there's a lot of super helpful techniques, but sometimes they're not like put together in a way that people can have a real experience, right? Because our nervous system learns through the repetition or intensity, right? And so sometimes we can have great information, right? Like you go to a workshop and it's like amazing and you feel great and you're like, I get it. And then you go back home and you're like, oh yeah, you're in your life, and and you're kind of back to your habits. Yes. And so, the curriculum that I teach is really designed to be like a gym for your inner world.
Nice.
So that you really get to understand how the nervous system operates, right? It's like, oh, if we're feeling this certain way, this is what's happening in the brain. So then what do I do? Right? And so it's not very just the intellectual part. So in the curriculum, right, we're not only just doing the information part, but each week we have specific exercises that are built to have you have an experience of the technique. And so that your nervous system gets to strengthen and open up in a very specific way, right? So like in the same way that you're like, oh, I want a better booty, right? So you go and you do your squats. It's not that I tell you like, hey, like this is how you do squats, and then boom, you got like an amazing booty just because you know about squats. You need to go and execute it, right? So it's the same with the nervous system. We need to learn to first be sensitive to when a pattern gets activated. And then we need to have the ability to deactivate that fight or flight response in your nervous system. That's a skill, right?
Yeah.
And then being able to say, okay, now I have this new pattern that's going to take me to my result. How do I communicate? How do I take that from my conscious mind to the subconscious mind? So it's not a struggle. It's just something that lives in your body, right? And then all of a sudden you're just kind of in this state of flow and you're a new person because the habits become this new you. Your behavior changes through the training.
Wow, that is amazing. Ena, so how do people find you and like connect with you and maybe sign up for your program?
Yes, the best way to reach me is at enagarrido.com. When you go to the website, you would see a sign up for the private podcast. And so when you sign up to the podcast, you'll receive exclusive access to the 5-episode series that talks all about how to rewire your nervous system or how to get it started. And you would also receive 5 days directly to your inbox with practices and really easy techniques to get you started in that implementation. And from there, you can also send me an email at hi@enagarrido.com. And I read every email. I love to connect with everyone. So yeah, please don't hesitate to reach me.